What were great and not so great PS audio equipment in your past? Oh boy. Brian in Rochester, Michigan asks the question of the day. And Brian writes, what were your great vintage PS audio gear and which would you avoid today? After a great history of the company, what older PS audio products would still be great to use today? And being honest, I try. Which old PS audio products would you not recommend to somebody? Love the videos. Well, geez, Brian. Let's see. Well, I mean, first off, I'm proud of everything we have ever made. And I know that sounds like, a political statement, but it's true. Are there things I am more or less proud of? Well, let's see. If we go back, so look at this beast. I don't know if you can see this. So this is what we called a P1200, and it is 3 feet long. It is the heaviest product we have ever made. It is basically 2 P600 power plants tied together, and it is just a ginormous beast. I would not recommend buying one of those. We did it because we could, and we wanted to build just the most gargantuan power plant regenerator ever known to man, and it was like one of the last that we did of that era. And it's too big, it's too heavy, and you can do so much better today. I mean, good gosh! I mean, look at the size of this beast. It's huge. It is literally 3 feet long, 19 inches wide, and even our new little Stellar P3 comes close to this. So you can do so much better today. I would not recommend buying one of those. It was too much back then. What else? Well, all right. In the PS Audio, I don't want to say Hall of Shame, because I am not ashamed of anything we ever did. But years ago, when we, let's see if I can hold this beast up here, when we wanted to first get into CDs, we made this, and this was called the CD1. And it was a great sounding machine. It really did well for its day. It was one of the very first CD transports out there in the world. I mean, it was actually it was a CD transport and a CD player. It was really good, but it was an off-the-shelf Magnavox player, because at the time that we made those, Philips had their Magnavox brand here in the United States, and Sony had their Sony brand in the United States, and those were the only 2 CD players out there. I mean, there was nothing else. This was in the mid-1980s when the beginnings of CDs were just starting. So we took an off-the-shelf Magnavox player. I mean, I remember getting up and just on the phone all the time trying to score as many hundreds of those players as I could get from stores. We bought them out of retail shops. And what we did is we ripped the electronics, the audio electronics out of it, and replaced it with really good sounding electronics. And it worked out really well, but at the end of the day, it was not our finest effort. I think we could have done better. I really do. At the time, it was as good as we could do, but I would say that would be the one I'm least proud of. Still least proud of the Power Director. So the Power Director, actually, I'm very proud of this. It is an excellent product. If you find a used Power Director, buy it. It's really good. If you need a passive power conditioner and you're not into regenerators, buy one of these. But it ranks somewhere in the pain category for us, because there was a time, 10 years ago maybe, that we decided to get into home theater, and we were going to do it in a big way. And I came up with this I thought it was a pretty innovative idea. It turned out it was very innovative. It was enabling power conditioners to control systems, big home theater systems, by remote control. So one of the problems that there was during those days, and still today, installers would go out and they'd build these ginormous home theater systems, and they would, people would spend thousands and thousands of dollars. They'd have, Crestron control systems, and every once in a while the whole system would shut down, wouldn't work, and all you really needed to do was reboot the Crestron system. Crestron's like a control system to replace your remote control. And to reboot it, you just unplug it and plug it back in, right? Not a big deal. Well, if you just paid $30,000 for your home theater system and you turn on the Super Bowl and it ain't working, you're calling up the installer, because you don't do that kind of stuff, right? And that installer's got to roll a truck out there, have somebody come into your house when you're waiting, you're missing the first quarter, and he goes and he literally unplugs it, plugs it back in, waits for 3 minutes. Now you're back up and running, and sends you a bill for it. So I came up with a really interesting way of fixing that problem. We built the Power Director, amongst a few other things, that that communicated over the internet, and an installer could literally go onto his iPhone and find this particular one of his clients, hit the button, it would reboot the system and turn it back on remotely. Then he could send him a bill if he wanted to, and the guy was up and running in 5 minutes. And it did a whole bunch of other things too that were really cool. It would, in fact, if the modem went offline, it would automatically sense that, and it would auto reboot the modem. I'm not going to get into it. It was one of the more clever ideas I ever had. We engineered the hell out of it. It worked great. And we went to town to try and sell these things, and we sold, a number of them to audiophiles. But the home theater industry, no interest whatsoever. Who are you guys? You're just weenies. You're just, you're PS audio. You're the little guys. We want to deal with Panamax. We want to deal with these big companies out there, and we don't really care about you. And then the icing on the cake was when Panamax just literally stole our idea. Literally stole our idea. In fact, Bill, the president of it, who's actually a personal friend, called me up and said, we get what you did. It's great, good work. We've engineered it ourselves. It wasn't like we patented it or anything. And now everybody offers internet controllable control over IP, right? But we invented it, and we put it into power plants or power generators. What am I saying? Power directors, passive deal. So that there's a little bit of pain associated with that. Okay, last. I think the stuff I'm most proud of are phono stages, the venerable PH4 preamp. We sold so many PH4 PS4 preamps. It was just amazing. Where did I come up with PH? Oh, I'm looking right at it. Sorry, a little off kilter today. But in our museum, there's tons of stuff that I'm very proud of. My son's great accomplishment, Sprout. This is Scott's baby, and I am so proud of him. We just sell so many of these every single day. People love this little integrated Sprout. It's cool. All right, enough babbling. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.